Charlie Munger, the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, is often overshadowed by Warren Buffett, known as the Oracle of Omaha. However, Munger plays a pivotal role in Berkshire Hathaway's success. Beyond his sharp intellect and deep understanding of psychology, Munger shares a lifelong friendship with Buffett. Today, as we mark 4 months since his passing on November 28, 2023, at the age of 99, we honor his legacy and explores his key principles from Poor Charlie's Almanack. Key principle number 1. Invert. Always invert. Say, if you're tasked to design a plane to be as safe as possible, how will you do it? Use the best material? Find the best manufacturer? Find the best pilot? There are thousands of things you can do. You'd be wondering where to get started. Munger would argue that the best way to do it is to think in reverse. Instead of thinking how to make the safest plane, think about how to kill a lot of pilots, then do your best to avoid it. For example, when he was working as a meteorologist, he realized there were only 2 things that can do that. Number 1, get the planes into cold temperature that would cause the pilots and planes to ice up and crash. Or, number 2, get the pilot into an area where he would run out of fuel before he can safely land. So he did his very best to avoid these 2 things. In a similar fashion, in investing, the golden rule is number 1, don't lose money. And rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. A lot of success in life and business also come from knowing what you want to avoid. Early death, a bad marriage, and even playing golf. You would play much better playing to avoid a bogey than to aim for a birdie. Key principle number 2, having multiple mental models. Have you heard of a man with a hammer syndrome? Wait, not this one. It is when a man is holding a hammer and everything looks like a nail. A screw? Smash. A TV not working? Smash. Your favorite person? Smash. Munger used an example of a chiropractor, not trying to offend any chiropractor friends, but to a chiropractor, any disease can be attributed to a vertebral subluxation or an alignment problem. And the cure of all diseases is to manipulate, aka to crack. The ineffective way to learn is to learn isolated facts and to memorize it. You can recite the facts for your exam, but you don't know the ideas underlying them. You cannot apply these ideas to solve problems in real life. That is the same problem with our national education system. Munger says that the superior way to learn is to learn lots of mental models and assemble them into a connected network. Does that mean I should go back to school and study every field? No. Munger says that you just need to know the big ideas from the big disciplines, then incorporate them into your mental models. Here are some examples that he mentioned. Knowing mathematics, specifically combinations, permutations, and probabilities. Knowing some basic accounting, statistics, knowing the Gaussian distributions. Knowing some biology, including the feedback loops. Knowing some basic psychology tendencies, these will go a long way. As you collect more of these ideas, you will start relating them together. For example, you might see how stock market swings are a combination of psychological biases, such as social proof tendency, and loss aversion or deprival superreaction tendency. An engineering idea of margin of safety for choosing a good business. For more of this, see my last video. Key principles on investing. Be patient, but decisive. What are the most important things you should learn from poker? What you have to learn is to fold early when the odds are against you. Or, if you have a big edge, back it heavily because you don't get big edge often. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett make successful investments because they're able to wait very patiently for great deals. Unlike many investors, they don't mind staying inactive even for years at a time and holding cash, like right now, when they don't see great opportunities. But when they see great opportunities, they bet big. Find high-quality businesses. Beyond just looking for cheap deals, Munger looked for high-quality businesses. Warren Buffett was successful in practicing his teacher Benjamin Graham's methods in buying fair businesses at a cheap price. Munger named this the cigar butt strategy. In other words, you're buying beaten-down companies trading below a conservative assessment of their liquidation values. This allowed early success, but what truly allowed Berkshire Hathaway to scale was Munger's strategy to change from that previous strategy to now buying great businesses at a fair price. So what makes a good business? Munger and Buffett consider the primary factor of a great business is the moat, or the competitive advantage. Like a moat protecting a castle, the competitive advantage allows the business to resist being made obsolete by competitors or changing markets. Examples of that include loyal branding for Apple, or a massive distribution system that is hard to rival, such as Coca-Cola. Good management. Munger says that you want a great business model that even an idiot can run, then you want a great person to run it. And if a business cannot handle some mismanagement, then it is not a good business because eventually it will. Key principles on psychology. Humans have physical structures and behavioral algorithms. Munger called these algorithms psychological tendencies that affect our behavior, but these tendencies don't necessarily act in our favor. 25 different tendencies were discussed in his talk. Some include the social proof tendency, where you act or do not act based on what everyone else is doing, and the primal superreaction tendency, where you will feel more upset when you lose $100 you own than you are happy when you gain $100. Or authority misinfluence tendency. When it comes to our innate tendency to believe authority figures and follow their orders even when we believe they are wrong, and even when there is no concrete penalty for disagreeing with them. One example is the Milgram's prison experiment. And then there's the Lollapalooza effect, when many of these psychological tendencies act together and generate an extreme result, such as during an open auction, when there's a social proof tendency that causes you to bid like everybody else who are bidding. Reciprocity tendency that makes you think, since I was invited, I should bid. Then there's the inconsistency avoidance tendency that makes you think, I already bid some money, so I might as well get the item. The rest of the 25 psychological tendency will be discussed in other videos. Finally, on character and living a good life. In all, Charlie Munger is said to be a man of solid character, one who is hardworking, humble, and always learning. Here are his main key principles. Have low expectations, have a sense of humor, surround yourself with the love of friends and family. Figure out the lifestyle that you want most. You might indeed work 80 hours a week for 15 years to make partner at a law firm, just to get the right to do more of the same. But if you don't, this might not be the right life for you. To get what you want, try to deserve what you want. Avoid self-pity. It is counterproductive and does not change your situation. If you don't feel self-pity, you'll have an advantage over many people, since it's a common response. Munger had a friend who carried a stack of cards, and when he heard a self-pitying comment, he'd give the person a card. The card read, "Your story has touched my heart. Never have I heard of anyone with as many misfortunes as you." Be around people you admire. Don't work under someone you don't want to be like. Work hard. Munger likes the word assiduity because it informally means sit down on your ass until you do it. When you borrow a man's car, you always return it with a full tank of gas. People notice these little things. Track records are important, and if you develop a trait like honesty, you'll have a big advantage in the world. In my whole life, I have known no wise people who didn't read all the time. None. Zero. You'd be amazed at how much Warren reads and how much I read. My children laugh at me. They think I'm a book with a couple of legs sticking out. Spend every day trying to be a little smarter than when you woke up. Hopefully this video has helped you achieve that. There you go. Key principles from Poor Charlie's Almanack. See you next time.